So I'm just in my office. I'm shooting a couple videos, and there's a topic I wanted to discuss. It's something that I don't hear a lot of people touching on it from this perspective, and that's landlord tenants laws and the landlord tenant laws and how they affect the tenants. And it's not what you might think. I think a lot of people, most people would agree that there should be some kind of safety net and that you shouldn't be able to just throw somebody out for being 2 days late on their rent. And I'd agree with that. I don't think many people would disagree there. But in the Northeast, we've gotten to the point where some states like New Jersey, New York, and even in Philadelphia, where we do business, it's gotten almost impossible to evict a tenant after they stop paying you. We have some counties in New Jersey, such as Essex County, Camden County. It can take you over a year to evict a tenant after they stop paying you. So the real question becomes, who does that hurt? I mean, obviously it hurts the landlords, right? But not as obvious and kind of counterintuitive. It hurts the tenants too. When you have these landlord tenant laws that are so strict in favor of the tenants, where the landlords don't have control of their properties anymore, you are creating an environment where the landlords have to be ruthless. They do not have the ability to work with people. That means if your credit is marginal and you're trying to get an application approved, you're not going to get approved. That means that if you're 1 day late on your rent, they're going to charge you a late fee. That means if you're a week late, they're going to file for eviction because they have to start the process. They don't have a choice. We advise our clients that, like, we like to be good people and we like to help, but at the end of the day, if it's going to take you 6 months to a year to evict a tenant, you have to get that process started as soon as you can. So my personal opinion and what I see, and I think a lot of people would agree with it, is that the more stringent these landlord tenant laws become, the more difficult it is for the tenants in the long run. In the short run, yeah, sure, you have some people that are able to stay in houses longer. And the question really becomes, if you can't get it together in a couple months, 6 months, a year, really, what kind of tenants are you helping? What kind of people are those? And they're not really trying very hard, probably. And so what's going to happen is, and this has happened to us in our office, where we see good people come in with applications and we want to approve them. We want to tell them, hey, there's a handshake test here, even though this guy's credit was bad or this woman's credit was bad. I shook hands with them and they work and they're trying and they explain to me why their credit was bad and I think that we should give them a shot. But how can the client say, yeah, go ahead, give them a shot when we know that maybe we're wrong? And if that person's not able to pay their rent, we're not going to be able to get them out for maybe a year or more. So, think about it. If the law was a little more reasonable, if it was even a 2 or 3 month process, you wouldn't worry as much. You'd say, okay, we're going to lose a couple months, but we can get somebody else in there. Most of these landlords are not, my average client is not an institutional client that has hundreds of millions of dollars that can just afford to not have the rent paid for months and months on end. We're talking about blue collar people who have saved their money, or white collar even, that have saved their money. They've invested everything they have into a few properties with the hope that when they retire, they're going to reap the benefits, 30 years from now. And unfortunately, they are not able to withstand the losses that happen when you have tenants that don't pay and damage the units and stay there for a year, without the ability to get them out. I don't want to get into detail or tell anybody's stories, but I could tell you some crazy stories about tenants that are literally putting landlords in the poorhouse because the laws are so stringent. And then when we go to relet those properties, you know, everybody's a little gun shy about who gets to go back in. You really want that Class A tenant, and you're willing to leave an apartment vacant longer if you can't find that person because the risk of getting the wrong tenant is too great. But so that's all I have to say about that. Just consider, if you're thinking about this, that stringent landlord tenant laws hurt tenants and in the long run. And I think when you see states like New Jersey, New York, that's what we're starting to see. Landlords are moving to metadata to evaluate tenants, being a little more cautious. So just something to think about and consider next time. You hear somebody saying like that. Well, there's got to be a safety net. Like we're well beyond that at this point. So have a great day. Thank you.